Hey friends, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another video. So today I am coloring up this boat image from Rachelle and Miller. It's so cute, and I pulled out my Inktense pencils to color this one with. I haven't used them in forever. This whole moving craft room thing has made me find all sorts of things that I love. I will have a list of all of the pencils used in the description box below in the order I'm using them if I don't get to telling you what they are. So for the boat here, I am starting off with using the oak pencil, adding it to the paper, taking out a tiny little brush here because I'm only putting a tiny bit of color on the image and blending that out with some clean, clear water. I do have my rag next to me. I don't use paper towel anymore because I was going through so much of it that I have a whole bunch of old rags and towels and things that I've ripped apart over the years, and I use those. They all go in a giant basket. When the basket's full, I wash them. So we're moving on to the water, and I'm using a sea blue to start with here. And it is the same process over and over for this whole image, just building up colors and layers. I'm also making sure that all of the layers dry in between so that I'm not working by putting the pencils directly onto anything wet. Start going in with Fern on our little dinosaur here. This is a super bright green. I really love it. It worked so well as a base color for this little dinosaur to make him bright and vivid. Like I said, it's the same process over and over again. If anything is a little bit echoey with the microphone, it is because I am in my new craft room, which means everything's not up here yet because that's just going to take some time. And it's a little hollow in here still. I'm hoping it's not too terribly bad. There's a bit of stuff in here and it doesn't sound so bad to me, but I'm not 100% sure what the microphone's picking up. So I went in and I used some baked earth on, or saddle brown, pardon me, on our little boy's face, and some sepia ink on our little teddy bear, and some poppy red on the Monocular. Now I'm going into his hair with a little bit of tan. Then I'm pulling out the Sicilian yellow for the stars and for the backpack. That color will come back later, and I will use it in the sky as well once I decided that I wanted to do a sunset scene. I think it turned out really pretty in the end. You guys saw the finished card at the start of this video. So now on to back to our dinosaur. I'm putting in some light olive just to start adding some shading to it. Like I said, all of these will be listed in the description box below. I will list them in the order that I use them to color the image so that you guys can kind of figure it out as you're going through. They will be in the description box as well as over on my blog. Box, not in the box. In the description box. Jessie can't speak. So like I said, I'm moving craft rooms. I'm excited to be upstairs. The boy is excited to have the entire basement. That's always fun. Moving, not so much. I never want to do this again. I'm going to live in this house until I die now because this is just, it's not fun. I'm finding lots of really cool stuff. It's still not fun. So I went on top of our little paper boat with some Chinese ink, and now I'm adding iodine green to our dinosaur. A little bit of sepia ink for some shading on the skin tone. That is the skin tone I've used for a long time. I actually bought these Inktense pencils back when I used to do some super over-the-top cards with magnolia images, lots of die cuts, chipboard, flowers, paper layers, all that fun stuff. It was super fun. I'm not sure if people still color magnolia images. If that's something you'd like to see me do, is some over-the-top cards again, let me know in the comments section below. It would be fun. I have all the stuff to do it. I don't get rid of things. I just quit using them. At least that's what it feels like while I'm moving craft rooms. So I'm sure we can make it work. Adding another coat of sepia ink to our little teddy bear here, and we're coming near the sky, I do believe. I'm going to put a little bit more of that oak color just to bring back some of that brown tone to our boat. So these images, the Rachelle and Miller stamps, I first found them when she was doing rubber stamps for Craft and Kimmy stamps 100 years ago, when the packaging still used to be like purple or pink. Kimmy would tuck into your stamp set, and you would get the gray rubber. You'd have to trim it out and mount it yourself. Yeah, I still have them because I don't, like I said, I don't get rid of things. And then she moved on to somebody else, and now she's back with Digis, which was super exciting. And then she released clear stamps with my favorite things, which I'm going to have to buy because I love the storybook feel to these images. I just think they're so perfect and so much fun. I've loved them forever, so it's really nice to see her making a giant comeback, and I'm definitely going to have to buy some of those. This one, like I said, is a digi. I printed it out on my laser printer on some, I think this is Fabriano Artistico extra white hot press watercolor paper. So I started off with that Sicilian yellow, and then I came in with the Scarlet pink to start adding some pink tones into the sky here. Now I'm pulling some off of the pencil just as a whole. I do come in, I did forget to record it. I know that because I did this voiceover one time with my microphone muted. Yeah, the entire voiceover with my microphone muted. Anyway, so I do come in with some white just to lighten it up a little bit later on. And yeah, I don't know, these alt lights just don't seem to cooperate with this camera. I think I'm going to have to pull out my DSLR and do some filming with that and see if I can get the frames of the camera to match up with the light so we don't end up with any of those little lines. I apologize for that. New space, new lighting, filming at dark because I work. It'll all come together eventually, I hope. So after I finished off with that pink, I pulled out the red violet to start transitioning that up into a purple color. This one was fun, guys. I really enjoy the way this came out. I started off doing the background with super light. It does get another coat to darken it up quite a bit. I don't go too terribly dark, but it does become a lot more dark than it is now. While that purple is drying at the top, I'm adding some more to the blue at the bottom for the water, just so that I can let the top dry, basically. Then I come in and I add some more purple. You can see how I'm holding that brush far back, or that pencil way far back. It's a similar thing I do with the brush a lot of the time. It just gives me a little bit less control and lets the brush do a lot more of the work, and it's a little more haphazard, and I really like not being quite so precise about it. It just feels a lot looser, and it seems to help these backgrounds and things of this nature come together a little bit more, to not quite be as controlling as I would probably like to be. It took me a long time to learn to be able to do that. There's where I pull out the white. There's the white Inktense. I did film it. See, look, I don't even remember what I looked at when I filmed it last time. Now, you can't see this at all right now when you first put it on. These are the 24 blocks, but once it dries, it becomes a lot brighter. I'm looking at it right now, and I can see where I laid down the white. I would love to get the 72 set of blocks, just so I'm not, you'll see in a little bit, I start pulling color off of the tip of the pencil, which works perfect. The only issue is it mucks with the tip, which means I have to sharpen it again when I go to color with it as a pencil. And then I'm wasting a lot of it just to sharpen it. And I find that the 24 block set doesn't have the colors that I reach for as often. So I think I'm just going to have to save my pennies and bite the bullet and order the 72 block set so that I have that. It'll take a little bit. I try to buy especially my more expensive things for crafting out of like what I make off of YouTube, which, let's be real, guys, it's like $100 a year. I don't make a fortune. So that's like 2 years to buy Inktense pencils. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So it'll take a while to save up those pennies and be able to buy it. But those of you that watch ads, thanks so much because you helped me do it. Yeah, it takes time, but I enjoy it, so it's okay. I like filming videos. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it because I don't make any money off of it. Once I finish this, I'm going to go back in, and it's all going to get a second coat of color. I wanted to brighten them up, make them more vivid, make that background a little darker, give me a lot more contrast to our dinosaur and little guy on their paper boat here. But on the same note, I have to work relatively fast because once Inktense dry, they are permanent because it is ink, not watercolor. So that's why you can see me kind of working in sections, pulling the color off and making sure I blend that out before I add a whole bunch more, because it'll dry and I won't be able to move it anymore. And that's the nature of the beast. And that's why I like them. It's like watercolor, but permanent. Works for me. So yeah, we're going to go back through all of those colors. I've been having a ton of fun playing with stamps that I haven't used in a long time, companies that I haven't used in a long time or ever. I have a couple stamp sets coming that I ordered from Simon Says with companies that I've never colored their images before. So that's exciting. It's really nice to be able to do that now that I'm not doing as much design team work as I was before. Don't get me wrong. Love to work on design teams. I have so much fun with it. And I'm game for guesting. I'm game for being on design teams, all that kind of stuff. But this is kind of a nice treat after being with the same company as for 2 and 3 years. Like I said, don't get me wrong, I'll do it again. But shameless self-promotion. If you want me to guest for you, shoot me an email. Anyway, I can't do that. I'm here to color and have fun. That's why we're here. I work a full-time job. So I'm going back in with that dark purple and now back through with that indigo, making sure I blend that into the purple. It turns out so pretty. Oh, I like it so much. So I just take my time. I'm using lots of water and I'm working my way across that top. I'm taking my time to make sure that it blends in to that dark purple and I don't have too many harsh lines, but I don't mind a few. Then I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to tape that onto an A2 size top folding card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And it is in its landscape orientation. Once I finish that, I am going to put a sentiment on the top of it. And this is an old sentiment stamp from Whimsy Stamps. I did some sentiment sets for them, a long time ago. So this one was called A Simple Sentiments, and it's just a whole bunch of strip sentiments. This one says, "May all your dreams come true." I still use this stamp set. I like it. I made it. I don't want to get rid of it, so I keep it. And I'm off frame. This whole new filming setup, like I said, it's going to take a little while to get used to, but we'll get there. I do push it up. I promise. Watch. It'll happen. Wait for it. There you go. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment using some VersaFine Onyx Black ink, putting that into my Misty, stamping that down, and then we'll pull that one out. You'll see here that it's got a few dots. I was initially going to paint all those stars one by one and was like, no, far too lazy, Jessie. So then we start by covering at the image and splattering them on, and then I'm like, why cover the image? Let's just splatter the stars on because, like I said, far too lazy. So that is it for today's card, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you do, please give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel immensely. And if you aren't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe. See you very soon. Bye for now.